Hey guys, Tim here, and today we are talking shin splints after doing a bunch of double unders. So recently got a request to address the issue of shin splints with a high volume of jump rope and CrossFit-like activities. So this is kind of my effort to address that issue as completely as possible. So with shin splints, which is pain just kind of in that anterior shin area, conventional wisdom in managing this type of injury would be something like rest, maybe stretching the area, maybe ice, which none of that is by itself incorrect, but it is woefully incomplete in that that approach doesn't take into account why the problem happened in the first place. So what does? Position. And when I talk about position, we mean the position of every joint when you're doing an athletic activity. Shoulders, ribs, hips, knees, the position of all those joints are going to dictate which structures you load, and they might make the difference of becoming injured or getting through a workout completely pain-free and being able to train kind of more days in a row. So position is king because position of the entire body dictates loading and dictates tissue stress. Tissue stress meaning, when I jump, what structures in my body are most affected? What is most loaded? Finally, position is king because, like the old saying goes, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. If we can work backwards and figure out why we got shin splints from jump rope, from running, then the next time we see that pop up, if we address position, if we address mechanics, the injuries won't happen. So again, much more prevention-minded, much less putting out fires. So we're going to talk about a couple common faults that we see with double unders, single unders, any kind of jump rope, and how that might lead to shin splints. Two really big kind of type 1 errors that we see in this movement. The first is something that we talk about a great deal in my videos, and that is overextension and just an anterior weight-bearing pattern. When I say anterior weight-bearing, what that means is that if I were to stand in a nice neutral position, ribs down, normal amount of thoracic kyphosis, a straight line, kind of my weight would be a straight line going down through the middle of my foot. That would be a neutral posture. Now, if I tip my pelvis forward, overextend, let my hip flexors and back take over, that same line is no longer going straight down through my foot, but it's kind of close to like the toes, the ball of foot type area. So with this anterior weight-bearing posture that a lot of CrossFitters are in, if I'm like this, and then I just start to load that pattern with my weight very far forward, that's gonna irritate a lot of structures in the lower leg, namely the tibia, which could be the cause of your shin splints after a jump rope workout. So what is the fix for this? There's a few kind of form things to think about with single unders, with double unders. The first would be letting the heels kiss in between each repetition. What I mean by that is if you look at the first time someone does a single under or is attempting double unders, they will stay on their toes 100% of the time. That heel never comes down, that weight never shifts back. So staying on the toes is a nice way to just kind of perpetuate that overextended pattern. So every repetition, focus on, even if it's just slightly, letting the heels kiss, because that'll let you get your weight back and not overburden the shin bone and the muscles that kind of go along with that tibia. So, form number 1, let the heels kiss. Two things which kind of go together, which are also helpful for getting out of that overextended position. Abs on, so we talk about the belly whack test. You should have some tension in these muscles at all times with pretty much every CrossFit activity. And then you can also think about ribs down in order to get out of that ribs flared overextended posture. For an explanation as to why the ribs down and a little bit of that thoracic kyphosis is not only desirable but necessary, look at my old episodes. I do a full video kind of discussing why it's so important to have a little bit of that thoracic kyphosis. So let the heels kiss, abs on, ribs down. Positional fault number 2 would be people's arches collapsing as they cycle through the jumps. So every jump, the arch collapses excessively, and that puts undue strain and shear on a lot of structures in the lower leg. That one's a little bit of an easier fix. Keep your feet together. Not only does it look pretty, but a foot together position is going to limit the amount that the arch can collapse and limit the torsion and the strain on the tibia. The other option there would be to look into a shoe which gives you a little bit more arch support, but that's kind of a topic for a different day. So, practicing good position then becomes key if we're looking to prevent something like shin splints. What I will do is link to a couple drills, a couple corrective exercises. They're going to be Postural Restoration Institute exercises that are designed to teach you to own that ribs down position or get off of your toes and kind of start to sit back on the heels a little bit. Both mechanical things that you want to do if you have shin splints when you do double unders. So check out the links that I post below the video. I'll throw a couple in that might be good ideas for people that really struggle with this. But the idea is that the drills will enhance your ability to find better positions through a workout, so they're gonna affect your ability to load in a successful way versus overburdening and kind of torsioning everything in the shin. Quick thank you to Craig Depperschmidt, a good friend of mine. He is a physical therapist at Proactive Physical Therapy in Fort Collins, and he was actually the one that I discussed a lot of this stuff with. So I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Craig. Hopefully this was helpful, so the next time you see double unders come up, you know what positions to avoid, you know what positions we're looking for, and I think your shins will thank you. Thanks for watching.